case of Beatrice receiving a £18,000 necklace, so about $25,000, from someone she didn't even know. And again, all these people are at, for example, Eugenie's wedding was filled with gangsters and dodgy dictators, as well as film stars she'd never met.
An £18,000 diamond necklace suddenly shows up from a sender nobody can even trace back. That alone had people whispering, but things got way darker once private bank activity and secret overseas meetings started leaking out into public view. Behind luxury hotels in the desert, massive money deals were allegedly being signed far away from royal cameras. For years, the public got fed the story that Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie were innocent bystanders caught in family drama. But now, insiders are painting a completely different picture. According to fresh reports surfacing in early 2026, the sisters may have been deeply tied to a hidden financial network operating behind palace walls. The image of the quiet, harmless royal daughters didn't just crack this year. It exploded completely. Sources are now calling the operation the York Enterprise, a rumored web of money channels and private connections allegedly created to keep influence and wealth flowing even after public support around Prince Andrew collapsed. The shocking part is that investigators now believe the sisters weren't standing on the sidelines at all. Allegedly, they were important pieces in keeping the entire machine running behind the scenes.
I have a lot of material on Beatrice and Eugenie, which I didn't put in the hardback, which I think I may now put in the paperback. I was told to leave them alone. Certainly, the research I've done shows that this was very much a family enterprise, and money was, I would argue, fenced through the daughters. They were given gifts, money that they couldn't explain was put into their bank accounts. They certainly used a lot of the contacts from their parents, which they're exploiting now. There's Beatrice in the Middle East, basically promoting her own business on the back of being Her Royal Highness Princess Beatrice. And so there's the same confusion between her private income and her public role that her mother had, and indeed the father.
People started asking questions because the lifestyle never seemed to match the public explanation. The sisters were always described as working professionals with regular private careers, but the spending reportedly told a different story entirely. Luxury vacations, expensive jewelry, elite social circles, and non-stop high-end events created whispers that something wasn't adding up. According to insiders, once official support started drying up, a backup financial system allegedly had to be created fast, and the daughters supposedly became key figures in that setup. Reports claim private accounts and outside connections may have helped keep the family protected while the palace tried to quietly distance itself from controversy. But the biggest shock isn't just that money was allegedly moving around, it's where some of it may have come from. Sources say several high-level business relationships in the Middle East weren't simple consulting opportunities at all. Allegedly, these deals were more about royal access, influence, and private introductions behind closed doors. Every time an expensive gift, luxury trip, or mysterious commission appeared, people reportedly noticed it often lined up with private meetings that never appeared on any official royal calendar. And here's where things started getting seriously messy. Just as investigators allegedly began connecting the dots, rumors of strange financial transfers surfaced, linking the sisters to individuals the monarchy has spent years trying to avoid publicly. According to reports, these relationships may not have been casual business friendships at all. Insiders claim they were financial lifelines, keeping the York circle afloat while public attention stayed focused elsewhere. While everyone was distracted by old headlines, a much larger shadow was quietly growing around Windsor. For a long time, the system allegedly worked perfectly, until unexpected attention started landing on people who were never supposed to be questioned publicly. To really understand how the pressure started building, you have to look at the moment royalty and controversial international figures allegedly crossed paths in plain sight. And people now keep pointing back to one event above all others: Eugenie's wedding. If you look carefully at the guest list from that royal wedding, some names reportedly stand out in a way that now feels impossible to ignore. While cameras focused on celebrities, designer dresses, and glamorous arrivals, sources claim a much more controversial crowd quietly moved through St. George's Chapel unnoticed by most viewers. According to insiders, several guests allegedly had ties to international investigations and powerful circles the monarchy usually avoids being connected to publicly. And according to reports, this wasn't some accidental social mistake. Sources now claim the wedding may have represented the York Enterprise operating openly in front of the world without anybody realizing it at the time. Rumors suggest some of those guests weren't simply there to celebrate the marriage. Allegedly, they were connected to the private funding streams helping maintain a luxury lifestyle that official royal finances could no longer comfortably support. Insiders claim that when you examine who was allegedly sitting inside those chapel seats, it paints a picture of influence building that stretches back years before 2026. Every introduction, handshake, and private conversation may have carried far more weight than the public understood. Some reports even suggest that relationships formed during those years later became tied to expensive gifts, private travel, and hidden financial arrangements that allegedly stayed far away from palace oversight. But many people are now asking the same question. Why would a royal bride allegedly risk her reputation around figures carrying this level of controversy? According to rumors, these relationships may have been considered necessary to maintain the large flows of money and influence reportedly tied to the family's private operations. In this world, insiders claim a royal wedding allegedly became more than a celebration. It became a massive networking event where power, favors, and loyalty all mixed together behind smiles and champagne glasses. For years, most of these alleged relationships stayed hidden from public discussion, but that silence reportedly started collapsing once fresh, unverified reports surfaced this year connecting several wedding day guests to ongoing international scrutiny. Now, the palace is allegedly panicking over how damaging the optics could become if even more details emerge publicly. Sources claim internal concern is growing because some of these friendships may allegedly involve much more than social visits or casual connections. As pressure builds, the questions are getting louder every week. People no longer just want to know who attended the wedding. They want to know what may have been promised behind the scenes in exchange for loyalty, influence, or financial support. And right as those questions started exploding publicly, reports suggest a serious divide opened inside the royal family itself. According to insiders, tensions allegedly reached a boiling point between the York side of the family and the future king. Behind closed palace doors, whispers of ultimatums and emergency discussions reportedly started spreading fast. The quiet halls of Windsor were allegedly shaken in early 2026 after reports surfaced about a cache of private documents nobody was ever supposed to see. And these reportedly weren't ordinary palace memos either. Sources claim the files contain detailed logs connected to decades of private associations, hidden meetings, and sensitive relationships involving powerful figures from outside royal circles. According to insiders, some documents allegedly mention Beatrice and Eugenie directly in ways that suggest they may have been much closer to the center of past controversies than the public was ever told. If true, that changes the entire narrative people believed for years. Instead of being shielded from the darker side of the York family drama, reports now suggest the sisters may have been far more aware of what was happening behind closed doors. The alleged paper trail reportedly leads deep into private social circles the monarchy has spent years trying desperately to erase from public memory. Rumors claim investigators have uncovered references to family trips, private gatherings, and exclusive retreats that reportedly line up with some of the most sensitive dates tied to earlier royal controversies. And now, with pressure mounting from every direction, insiders say panic inside royal circles has reached a level nobody can hide anymore. According to reports, the leaked documents didn't just allegedly reveal where certain royal trips happened. They supposedly exposed who was paying for them too. Travel, luxury security, private weekends away. Insiders claim the paperwork allegedly connects it all back to wealthy outside figures whose names were never meant to become public. And that's where things reportedly turned from embarrassing to outright dangerous for the royal image. The story gets even messier once people start asking how these files surfaced in the first place. Sources claim a former associate accidentally left behind a digital breadcrumb trail that triggered panic inside palace circles. Allegedly, officials rushed through private archives trying to figure out what had already been copied, leaked, or quietly passed around behind the scenes. According to insiders, the fear wasn't just about rumors anymore. It was about hard records sitting in black and white. For years, certain wild weekend whispers surrounding royal circles were brushed off as tabloid gossip and internet noise. But now reports suggest investigators allegedly uncovered documentation that lines up disturbingly close to those old claims. If true, that's a nightmare situation for a monarchy desperately trying to sell a cleaner, slimmer, controversy-free image to the world in 2026. As details allegedly started leaking out, insiders claim the palace reacted immediately and coldly. According to reports, a quiet distance directive was allegedly put into motion almost overnight. This reportedly wasn't about simple scheduling conflicts or public appearances anymore. It was about protecting the institution itself. Sources claim the York sisters were quietly informed that invitations to major royal events in 2026 could no longer be automatically expected. Insiders say the king was allegedly briefed directly about the uncomfortable links and social proximity these documents supposedly revealed. And from that point on, reports claim a symbolic wall started going up around the core royal family. But while palace officials were allegedly building distance publicly, tensions behind closed doors were reportedly boiling over fast. Sources say Beatrice and Eugenie felt completely blindsided by the reaction, believing they were being punished for situations tied to the past and family connections they couldn't fully control. But according to insiders, the future king wasn't interested in explanations anymore. He allegedly wanted evidence, records, and total clarity. And that clash over the leaked documents reportedly became the opening shot in a much bigger battle inside royal circles. Because once the questions about trips, gifts, and financial ties started growing louder, the focus allegedly shifted toward one explosive issue: money. The royal rift reportedly reached a breaking point when a direct ultimatum was allegedly delivered behind palace doors. According to sources, Prince William decided the old era of quiet trust and vague explanations was officially finished. Reports claim he allegedly demanded something that completely changed the game: full financial transparency from the York sisters. Insiders say the request allegedly involved opening private financial records and account histories to independent palace auditors. The goal, according to reports, was to finally uncover the truth behind the mysterious gifts, foreign connections, luxury travel, and Middle Eastern business relationships that had been quietly raising alarms for years. And sources claim the atmosphere behind closed doors became absolutely explosive. Allegedly, this wasn't framed as a polite family request. The future king reportedly wanted proof showing exactly where every major payment, gift, and financial arrangement originated. Palace insiders say the sisters were effectively handed two options: complete transparency or gradual exclusion from the royal brand altogether. But what allegedly happened next stunned senior figures inside the institution. According to rumors, both Beatrice and Eugenie reportedly refused outright to fully cooperate with the request. Sources claim they dug in their heels and declined to hand over access to private financial ledgers and account details. And suddenly, what started as tension allegedly became open defiance. Insiders now claim that refusal only intensified suspicion among senior palace aides. According to reports, some officials allegedly believe the hesitation suggests there may be details buried inside those accounts that could seriously damage public trust if ever exposed. Because as critics keep asking online, why reject an opportunity to clear your name if there's nothing damaging to uncover? That question reportedly keeps echoing through royal circles every single day. And with every week of silence, curiosity only keeps growing louder while pressure from the top reportedly becomes more intense. As the financial standoff allegedly escalated, the fallout reportedly started becoming visible in public too. Royal watchers quickly noticed absences from several major 2026 family moments, while insiders described the atmosphere between the cousins as icy and distant. Sources claim the once close relationship between the York sisters and the future king has now almost completely collapsed. Reports suggest the sisters allegedly feel increasingly isolated while palace leadership quietly tightens the circle around the core family. But according to insiders, Beatrice and Eugenie aren't simply waiting around for the next headline to hit them. Allegedly, they're now preparing a major image reset strategy designed to flip the narrative before things spiral even further. And that strategy reportedly centers around something the royal family has always used during difficult times: emotional public storytelling. Sources claim the plan allegedly focuses on family milestones, personal updates, motherhood, and carefully controlled appearances designed to soften public perception and bury the financial controversy under warmer headlines. According to reports, every appearance, interview, and social media image is now allegedly being carefully managed to project an image of hard-working, relatable women completely disconnected from the darker cloud hanging over the York name. The message reportedly being pushed is simple: normal lives, normal priorities, and no connection to hidden financial networks whatsoever. But insiders say selling that image publicly has become much harder than expected. Because while the sisters are allegedly trying to appear grounded and modest, the luxury travel, elite circles, expensive fashion, and billionaire-level lifestyle optics reportedly continue surfacing over and over again. Sources claim there is now a major internal struggle between maintaining a relatable public image while still moving through wealthy international social circles tied to enormous privilege and influence. Every attempt to move the story forward allegedly gets dragged backward by fresh questions about old gifts, private property holdings, or mysterious financial links. According to rumors, Eugenie's recent personal news was allegedly viewed internally as the perfect distraction opportunity, a way to emotionally reset public attention and move conversations away from the leaked 2026 documents. But reports claim palace officials aren't falling for it so easily. Insiders say the financial audit battle allegedly continues quietly behind closed doors, no matter how many smiling public appearances happen in front of cameras. And the growing contrast between the sisters' public message of restraint and the reported reality surrounding their finances is creating a tension that reportedly cannot stay hidden forever. Now, according to sources, this entire rebrand effort may allegedly represent their final chance to remain fully inside the royal fold. Because if they fail to convince both the public and the future king that they have truly separated themselves from the so-called York enterprise, insiders claim the consequences could become permanent. At this point, the sisters are reportedly walking a razor-thin line between rebuilding their image and facing a complete institutional freeze-out from the monarchy itself. As the pressure keeps building around the York sisters, an even bigger threat is now hanging over everything. And this time, it goes way beyond bad headlines or awkward public appearances. According to insiders, the issue sitting behind palace doors right now could completely change Beatrice and Eugenie's future forever. This isn't just about reputation anymore. It's about the royal titles that have defined their entire lives. Sources claim the countdown has officially started on whether the sisters will continue being allowed to use Her Royal Highness. And behind closed palace meetings, rumors suggest the final decision may already be moving closer than the public realizes. If reports are true, the monarchy is allegedly considering a move that would completely reshape the York legacy for good. Insiders say Beatrice and Eugenie are reportedly determined to protect their royal status at all costs. But according to palace whispers, pressure from the top has now reached a breaking point. Sources claim the future leadership of the monarchy allegedly no longer sees royal titles as automatic birthrights. Instead, they reportedly believe those privileges now require full loyalty, complete transparency, and absolute trust, especially when finances and outside connections are involved. And that's where everything reportedly starts collapsing. According to rumors, the sisters' alleged refusal to fully cooperate with financial scrutiny has created a wall between them and the institution itself. Palace insiders describe the atmosphere as cold, tense, and almost businesslike behind closed doors, with little patience remaining for unanswered questions. What's making this even more dramatic is the timing. Reports claim that while the family publicly celebrates personal milestones and happy moments, internal palace machinery is allegedly moving in the complete opposite direction. Sources now suggest that discussions have already taken place about quietly transitioning the sisters into private citizen status, effectively ending their remaining role as official representatives of the crown. And this wouldn't just be symbolic. Losing HRH status would reportedly affect security arrangements, royal privileges, public standing, and the final layer of institutional protection still surrounding the York side of the family. In royal circles, that's not a small downgrade. That's a complete power shift. So why is this allegedly happening right now? According to insiders, the public distancing everyone noticed throughout major 2026 events was only phase one of a much bigger strategy. The next stage, sources claim, is far more permanent and far harder to reverse. Every fresh report involving questionable gifts, luxury perks, or rumored Middle Eastern financial connections allegedly makes it more difficult for the king to publicly defend keeping the sisters tied closely to the royal brand. And according to palace whispers, the message being pushed internally has now become brutally simple: open the books and keep the titles, or protect the secrets and risk losing everything attached to the crown. As summer 2026 gets closer, the silence coming from the York camp is reportedly becoming louder than any public statement could ever be. Insiders believe the sisters are still standing firm, but public opinion appears to be shifting harder against them with every new rumor and headline that surfaces. At this stage, people aren't even asking whether change is coming anymore. They're asking how public and how messy the fallout could become. Some royal watchers believe the sisters may eventually choose to quietly step back on their own terms to avoid total humiliation. Others think the palace could force the issue publicly if tensions continue growing behind the scenes. And if that happens, it could become one of the biggest royal shakeups in modern history. The House of York has survived scandals, controversies, and non-stop criticism for decades, but insiders now claim this financial storm may be the one crisis they simply can't escape from. With the future king reportedly pushing hard for a cleaner, tighter monarchy, the room for controversial figures inside the institution appears to be shrinking fast. Now, the biggest mystery remains the same question everyone keeps asking online. Why refuse financial transparency if there's nothing damaging to hide? Is this really about privacy and principle? Or is there allegedly one specific deal, gift, or financial connection buried in those records that could instantly destroy their royal standing forever? What do you think is really going on behind palace doors right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into royal drama, hidden tensions, and the stories insiders allegedly don't want exposed, make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.